Good morning. Myself, Brinda, Assistant Professor of Sri Balaji College of Nursing. Today, I'm going to deal with the course Management of Nursing Service and Education. The topic is Functions and Principles of Nursing Management. First, we'll see the meaning of administration. The word administer is derived from a Latin word ad plus ministry, means to look after or to look after people to manage affairs. To look for and to look after people to manage affairs. Administrative means to serve. The meaning is suggestive enough as it insists on the administration to regard itself as a servant and not as the master to look after. Perform all activities. So, administer is to take care of people or to manage things, manage affairs. It doesn't mean being in an administration position, be a boss or a master, but you work as a servant to serve people. We'll see the definition of administration. Administration has to do with getting things done with accomplishment of defined objectives. This definition is given by Luther Gulick. Administration is a direction, coordination, and control of many persons to achieve some purpose or objective. This definition is given by L.D. White. So we'll see with the nursing management definition. Management is defined as art of securing maximum result with minimum effort so as to secure maximum prosperity and happiness for both the employer as well as the employee and give the public best possible result. So the management's aim is to give a minimum amount of work and getting maximum prosperity so that both the manager as well as manager or the administration can and as well as the worker can be happy and give the public the best possible result. So we're going to see what is the nature of administration. The administration is universal, it is same everywhere, holistic, intangible, it's dynamic, goal-oriented, continuous, social, human, and it's creative. Meaning of administration, meaning of management. Organization is a group of people working together to achieve certain laid down common goals or objectives. So it is in a company or in a hospital setup or an organization is working together. They lay a certain objectives to achieve some goals and people come together to work together to attain that objectives. These goals are achieved through harmonized coordination and continuous conscious effort of all category of people constituting the organization. So they consciously work hard to achieve the objectives laid by the administration. It is extremely important that the goals which are formulated for an organization and in achieving these goals, administration and management are interchangeably used. They are both sides of a coin. So management and administration are interchangeably used words, whereas there are two terms different or synonyms and different interpretation of term management. So what is the difference between a management and an administration? So management, the main focus of the management is getting work done, whereas the administration, formulation of policy, objectives, plan, and program. So administration lay the policies, objective plans, and programs. The management get the things done. That is, they accomplish the objectives and plans executed laid by the administration. Function of management, execution of decision. So administration makes a decision making is laid by the administration head and it is executed by the management. Concern, implementation of policy laid down by the administration. So it is the administration who determine the major policies. So management is implementing the policies which is laid down by the administration. Levels in the organization. applicable at the lower level of management. So management always will be applicable at the middle level and the lower level, whereas the administration is always the higher level of the management. Directive activities. Management is concerned with direction of human effort at the operational level. So it is at the operational level, it makes the people to work and concerned with the human effort, not directly concerned with operational level officials. So they at the lower level or bottom level of effort of human effort is not, they don't consider, administration do not know what is happening at the lower level of the management, whereas management is concerned with the direct human effort at operational level. The functions of administrations. So it is a mnemonic called POST-COP. That is, P stands for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, CO for coordinating and controlling, R stands for recording and reporting, and B stands for budgeting. So first we go on with planning. First step. So everything includes starters with planning. According to notes, planning is deciding in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, and who is going to do. It bridges the gap from where we are and where we want to be. Plan is a future course of action. Plan is a process of determining the objective of effort and devising the mean calculated to achieve them. So, in any program or in any organization, even if it is a small program, we start with planning. So, it is planning is a continuous process till we achieve the goal. Essential of good planning. What are the things we need for good planning? Reduce future uncertainty. What is going to happen? That we are planning, pre-planned is there. So it reduces future uncertainty. Gain economical operation. Foundation for organizing. It is a foundation for all the other activities. Facilitates and coordination and control. Dictates those activity to which the employees are directed. So the planning already has been laid and it can be dictated to the employees, so they can be directed towards it. Is responsible organizational objectives. So we'll see what are the planning process in health service. So analyzing of the health situation or analyzing the current situation of health, establishment of objectives and goals, and which leads to assessment of resource. You have to see how the resources are available, how much resources are available, fixing priorities. So which one comes first? They fix the priority. Write up the formulated plan according to the priorities, which leads to programming and implementation and then evaluation. For this planning process in health service, we can take the current scenario of corona COVID situation. They analyze the current situation of the health situation and establish the objective and goal and assess how much resources are available for what type of prioritizing the care and writing up the formulated plan, program and implementation and evaluating how the plan has been implemented. So what are the principles of planning? Always the planning should be clearly defined objectives. It should be precise. It should not be too lengthy that no one understands. It should be very precise. It should be simple. It should be simple form, language. It should be flexible because the planning may change because of the situation. You can anytime the plan may change. So it should be flexible to change, flexible and continuous process. I told as from the beginning of the program till you actually attain the goal, end of the program, the planning is continuous process. Good harmony with the organization and documented. It should be, planning always should be documented. What are the types of planning? Time period. It depends upon the whether the planning is long-term or a short-term plan. Time period depends on type of business and structure of the organization, long-term and short-term. So long-term plan is a 5 years plan. It's a long-term plan due towards the future. Strategic in nature, involves generally 3 to 5 years. It relates to matter like new product devaluation. Like you in a hospital starts a cardiovascular unit or cardiothoracic unit or a new ortho unit. It is a future plan, is a long-term plan. They plan according to their long run. Short-term plan or planning typically covers a time frame less than 1 year in order to assist their company in moving gradually towards its long term. So it may be like in COVID situation. So short-term planning is typically covers the time frame of less than 1 year in order to assist their company. So as I told, like it's in COVID situation, we don't know when it is going to end. So it is always a short-term plan, though according to the situation, there is the planning for short-term period of a sharing. Next is the approach. Proactive planning and reactive planning. Proactive planning, this suitable course of action are designed considering the expected change expected in the relevant environment. So this suitable action can be designed like they expect a change in the environment, then the plan can be changed accordingly to the situation. Reactive plan, it is a type of planning that is done after the environment change has taken place. So this is proactive planning, is we plan before anything happens, and reactive plan is planned after the changes occurred. Degree of formalization. So formal planning and informal plan. Formal planning, it is structured plan, systematic. So formal is like formal letter, or they all should be documented and should be legal. It is a structured plan. It has some procedure to follow. Written record is followed in formal plan. Example, 5-year plan of a country. So there should be a record maintained in that, and it should be visible and it should be known to everybody. Informal plan is planning according to the situation. It is unstructured plan. It does not have any procedure to follow. No record is maintained for the future purpose. Importance of contents. So what are the importance of contents? Is strategic. It's a future direction of the organization in which it wants to proceed in future. It involves a time horizon of more than 1 year for most of the organization. It ranges between 3 to 5 years. So strategic plans are generally developed by top level management. Example, diversification of business into two new lines. So strategic planning is done always by the top level management. So operational plans are developed to determine the step necessary for achieving tactical goals. They're used as a guide for one day-to-day operation by department manager. So it is depending upon the day-to-day, what is going to happen today. They plan and they execute. These plans may cover a time frame for few months, week, or even a few days. It is operational plans are like usually it's a project. Until the project complete, the plan is being made. Standing plans. What are the standing plan? A single use plan. Standing plans developed for activities that require regular over a period of time. That is policy, standing operating procedure, rules and regulations. Single use plans are developed to carry out a course of action not likely to be carried out for the future. So I told as a project plan or a program plan, you plan a program or you plan a project, it is a single use plan. You use it only for till the program is completed or the project is completed, and you don't carry out for future, or you don't use the same plan for any other project or program. Strategic plan. Strategic plan is a disciplined effort to produce fundamental decision, action, shape, guide, and what an organization is, what it does, why it does, it with focus on the future. So again, the operational plan is like timetable for a week, a weekly activities, examination schedule. So the operational plan is like day-to-day planning for producing or delivering the product service as we saw earlier over a period of time. Short range and long range. It is again a short-term plan and a long-term plan. Now, short-term plan is not less than 1 year, and long-term plan is set a long-term goals. So what are the advantage of planning? When we plan, what are the advantages? Planning facilitates management by its objectives. When we don't plan and do something, we are stuck what to do and what we are doing, where how far our objectives are achieved, and is morale maintained, or all these things is in confusion when the planning is not done correctly, or planning is not done. So when you plan, these are the advantages. Planning facilitates management by objectives. Planning minimize uncertainties. Planning facilitate coordination. So there is a coordination, organized way. According to each plan, we follow things. Planning improves the employees' morale. Planning helps in achieving economics. So if we don't unnecessarily use the resources, everything is planned, so there is no question of unnecessary use of resources in economics. Planning facilitate controlling. Planning encourage innovations. So new innovations is discovered during the planning. Next comes the organization, postcard. POO is for organizing. Organizing is a form of every human association for the attainment of common purpose in the process of relating specific duties or functions in a whole. So J.D. Monet has certain principles of organization. Organization depends upon the hierarchy, span of control, integration versus disintegration, centralization versus decentralization, unity of command and delegation. So these are the part of organizing. So these principles of organizing will be even dealing in the principles of management. So we can discuss there in the regarding this. And next comes the staffing. According to Croods, planning managerial function of staffing involves managing the organization structure through proper effective selection, appraisal, and development of personnel to fill the roles in designed and the structure. Manpower planning, recruitment, selection. So manpower planning is staffing. You have to place the correct person at the correct place. That is what the staffing means. Manpower planning, recruitment, you recruit, select and placement. Training and development, training the staff we are selecting and placing in them in the correct place. Development, remuneration, it should be a fair remuneration for the staff. Performance appraisal, every 6 months or every 1 year the staff is being appraised for this performance. And promotion and transfer, according to his designation and performance of the work, you promote or you give a transfer. It may be a punishment transfer or it may be a promotion transfer. Next is directing. Directing is influencing people's behavior through motivation. It's like directing through the correct way. It is motivating communication, group dynamics, leadership, and discipline. Directing includes the following activities: giving orders, making supervision, leading, motivating, and communicating. Coordinating. So next is coordinating. It is the act of synchronizing people. So you coordinate things when there is no harmony in the team or no harmony in the organization. So there is no coordination. Your objectives and goals cannot be achieved at right time. It is an act of synchronizing people, bringing people together and activities so that they function smoothly in attainment of organization objective. Coordination is integrating process in orderly pattern, like organizing. It is an organizing pattern, group effort in an organization towards the accomplishment of common goals. So what are the two types of coordination? One is internal coordination and one is external coordination. So internal coordination is blending of all effort, activities, forces operating within the organization. So external coordination is outside the enterprise or outside the organization. Refers to blending of all effort, activities, operating forces without the without the outside the enterprises or the organization. So next is controlling. Controlling is a process of checking whether or not the proper progress is maintained. So there should be a control over everything, or when the employee, our plan, our goal, everything should be under control. So controlling is a process of checking whether or not proper process is being made towards the objective and goal, and acting if necessary to correct any deviation. So only when correct regular check is made on how far we have attained, if there is any mistake or there is any deviation from our plan, then you can make corrections. So the controlling is very important in the terms of planning and in the terms of steps in the organization. Step of control: establishment of standard performance, measuring performance, how the performance is made, correcting deviation from the standard. So you lay objective and standards, standard methods for attaining the objectives. So if there is any deviation from the made correct deviation from the standards, so you have to take a corrective steps. Comparing the actual results with the standard: how is the actual results? Have your work has been met, have your standards have been met, the standard already laid by the organization. Next comparison one is reporting and recording. Report are oral or written exchange of information shared between caregiver or worker in a number of ways. So in nursing, recording and reporting is one of the important documentation where if it is care is not given if it is not documented. So it should be a proof. It is a proof of recording everything. So it can be oral or written. Always written is preferable. Shared between the caregiver or workers in a number of ways. A report summarizes the service of the personnel of the agency. Reports are usually written daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. A yearly report can be written daily. What is happening? Incident reports. So there are so many reports. So accidental report, incident reports. So daily they write a report, or weekly, yearly, what is annual report, everything. It includes everything, reporting and recording. So budgeting. So budgeting, it is expressed in the financial term based on the expected income and expenditure. So what is your income and what is your expenditure? It is a formal form of physical planning, accounting, and controlling of financial resources. It is served as a powerful tool for coordination and negatively and effective device of eliminating duplication and wastage. So there cannot be any duplication. So when you write a plan, you budget and plan, so there is no wastage of money. There cannot be duplication of, so repeatedly you don't do things. So there should be always an effective budgeting made at the planning session itself. Then you at the end of the thing, you see what is being the income, expected spend and expenditure has been made. Features of budgeting: should be flexible. If in case of emergency, if you need more financial support, it should be flexible. Synthesis of past, present, and future. You see the previous budget and present, and you consider the future. Statistical standard: support of the top management. Next, we go on with Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. There are 14 principles given by Henry Fayol. So we're going to see one by one. So first one is division of labor. Second, principle of authority and responsibility. Third, principle of order. Fourth, unity of command. Fifth, unity of direction. Sixth, equity. 7, discipline. 8, initiative. 9, fair remuneration. 10, stability of tenure. Scalar chain. 12, subordination of individual interest to the common interest or general interest. Spirit de corps. Centralization and decentralization. So we are going to see one by one. First one is a division of labor. So specialization allows individuals. So in an organization, there should be one person cannot do all the work. So it should be equally divided according to their category, according to their role. The work should be divided. Specialization allows the individual to build up experience and to continuously improve his skill thereby can be more protective. Small tasks, competent specialization, efficiency, and effectiveness. Next one is principle of authority and responsibility. Authority means the power to take decision. Responsibility means obligation to complete the job. So when a person is given responsibility, he does the completes the job. But when he has no authority, there is no power to take decision, then it is ineffective. That is responsibility you have, but no authority, it becomes ineffective. So the authority should be given to the manager. So only then the employees or the fellow workers will obey the manager. He should have the decision to have the power to take the decision. Principles of order. So principles of order, it refers to orderly arrangement of men and material at fixed place for everything and everyone in the organization. So it should be, even if it is a men, it should be in the correct order. Even if it is a material, it should be in the correct place for everyone for easy functioning of the organization. Next one is principle of unity of command. So employee should receive order from one boss only. So unity of command is there should not be two commands. So there may be a conflict. The employee become confused. So which one to obey? So two managers are there, they're giving two orders, then it is a confusion among the employees to whom to obey and which to follow. A subordinate should not receive instruction from more than one person. Dual subordination should be avoided. Unity of direction. All the effort of the member and the employee of the organization must be directed to one direction, and that is achieved of common one head, one plan. In common, they should be directed towards one plan. So it is not possible for an human to do two projects or two plans at a time. So it should be always one plan and one head. Effort of all the members of the organization should be directed towards common goal. Without unity of direction, unity of action cannot be achieved. Unity of command is not possible without any unity of direction. So principle of equality. So everybody in the organization, even let it be the lower level or top level, everybody should be treated equally. So just treatment to employees. So that is equality is a picture among this, like, so according to their cadre, everybody should be treated equally. Principles of discipline. So if there is no discipline in the organization, it is going to be a mess. So general rules and regulation for systematic working in an organization. Subordinate should respect their superior and obey their rules. So in order to obey their superior, the superior should have the authority to take decision. Not only the subordinates, but also only on the management. Discipline can be enforced if good superior, clean and fair agreement with workers. Principle of initiative. Initiative is taking a step or giving opportunity to execute a plan. Employee must be given opportunity to take some initiative in making and executing a plan. Encouraged to take initiative. Only a good manager allows a subordinate to take initiative and encourage to view out his opinion, talk about his opinion and execute the plan. So encouraged to take initiative in work assigned to them. Initiation action without being asked to do. Management should provide opportunity to its employee. So enjoy working in the organization because it adds to their zeal and energy. Yes, when you give an opportunity to show your talents, only you feel enthusiasm working in an organization. Suggestive improvement in formulation and implementation of place. Next is remuneration. So principle of remuneration of person. So employee must be paid fair for adequately and give maximum satisfaction, which is nowadays is really not possible. Equal pay for equal work. So the pay, how the work is done, according to their work, the pay should be given. Only then the employee will be happy as well as the employer will be satisfied with the work. So pay to the work should be fair. Satisfaction both employee as well as the employer. Determination on the basis of cost of living. So how the rate of cost is getting high day by day. So according, you should consider the cost of living and work assigned, etc. Provision of other benefits such as free education, medical, residential facility to the worker. Management create harmonious relationship and pleasing atmosphere to work. So no persons can be working in a stressful environment or with low pay. It is very difficult. So there should be an equal play. Next is stability of tenure of person. So stability of tenure of frequent termination or transfer. So employees should not be moved frequently from one job position to another. Once they are appointed, their service should be served. Time is required for an employee to get used to new work. Is said by Foyle. So it is not, you have to see when you are recruiting or staffing, when staffing is done, it should be noted that the person, the staff recruited does not move very easily. Previous history you have to check, and because it is a tedious process for the management as well as for the employee to train, the resource used for training and time used for training, everything goes in vain. So there should be a there should not be frequent termination or transfer of employees. Principle of scalar chain. It means a line of authority or chain of superior from the highest to lower rank. Every order, instruction, etc. has to be passed through the scalar chain. So it should be from the top level to the bottom level. It may be a vertical hierarchy or horizontal hierarchy. There should be a chain. For the sake of convenience, urgency, this pass can be cut short and it is known as gangplank. So in case of emergency, there are two manager or a manager and an administrator. The scalar chain can break and they can have a direct conversation. That is called gangplank. See, this is a formal path. So C is conveying to the B and B is conveying to A, D, and E. In case of emergency, the C can directly convey the message to E. That is gangplank. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. Interest of the organization must be prioritized over the interest of the individual. An organization is much bigger than the individual. So we should always consider the common interest of the employee. As far as possible, the reconciliation should be achieved between the individual and the group interest. Next is principle of spirit de corps. It is a principle of unity, team spirit among the employee. It refers to the team spirit. It inspires worker to work harder in union. Interest of the undertaking in long run, the manager should infuse team spirit and belongingness. So when you have the fiction that the teams, our companies, it's in our organization, when you feel the spirit and team, you feel the energy and enthusiasm to work in a long run. Team spirit corps, spirit de corps, following steps should be undertaken proper, should be encouraged to develop informal relationship among themselves. Not only the formal relationship as boss and employee, there should be informal relationship, like knowing their families and all those things. Create enthusiasm and meanness among subordinate. Employee should be rewarded. Centralization and decentralization is a principle. Next principle, centralization, concentration of authority at top level. Centralization is so equal, the concentration will be at the top level. So decentralization is disposal of decision making and authority at all levels of the organization. Increasing the role of subordinates is decentralizing. Decreasing the role of subordination is centralization. Centralization is only the top level management will take decision. So subordination is the work allotted to the subordination. So next we'll go on with the role of a nurse manager. As it is a nursing management, we'll see the role of a nurse manager. All nurse manager to carry out the managerial function, planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. So how the nurse manager, coordinator of patient care with specialized emphasis on optimum nursing care. The first level manager, head nurse, involved more in leading, controlling the function related to patient care. Ensuring the delivery of the optimum nursing care is a primary duty of the nurse manager. So, no, nurse manager sees that all the functions, all the patients, they get the effective care from the nurses. They see the duty is being effectively functioned. Nurse manager needs to know about the job description of each member in the team. So if it is a nursing superintendent, is a head nurse, is a hospital infection control nurse, all their duty should be known by the nurse manager. This will prevent nurse doing non-nursing function. Appraisal of nursing care. So evaluates the performance of the nurses. This aim to improve the quality of nursing care. The clinical supervision and helping the poor performer to improve the staff development and two important roles. So if the staff is not able to perform on a special procedure or is not able in nursing care, she can be given a special training. So she should do appraisal and clinical supervision regularly. Resource allocator, allocating resource like manpower, material for smooth functioning. So the role of nurse manager is allocating the correct resource for smooth functioning of the hospital. That is including the manpower. Manpower includes a ratio of patient care. If it is an NIC, it is 1-to-1 care. So that is a manpower and material for the smooth functioning. Leader try to acquire the traits of a leader. Leadership qualities help the manager to lead members more effectively. Mentor, she is a mentor, good mentor. Nurse manager should be a good mentor for a subordinate. An experienced professional, she can give a proper advice and guidance to the team member. Patient advocate, she can become an advocate. If the patient is not able to speak up for himself, the nurse become an advocate at that point. Unit manager explains the right of patient, the right of the hospital in a convincing manner. Help to maintain trusting relationship between the patient and the nurse manager. Disseminator. Disseminator is conveying the information regarding the policy of the organization to the nurses with special reference to the patient care. So she reduces the gap between the organizer and between the administration and the nurses. Negotiator, she is a relationship of nurse manager with staff and higher authorities help to perform their role in a fruitful manner. So if the nursing staff has any problem, so that the nurse manager take up the problem to the administrator and she bring out a fruitful solution so that both the employer and employee will be happy. Facilitator of the learning helps to update the knowledge and skill throughout the staff development program. Promoter of research. So nurse manager should be a promoter of research. She should encourage the fellow nurses to motivate them to take up research activities and publish articles. Managing healthcare setting must keep abreast of the current emerging trend issues and help her to meet the challenges arising in healthcare settings. So I can say the COVID situation. So nurses are becoming where warriors, first frontline warriors. Doctors and nurses were the frontline warriors in the challenges now faced by the country. So role model, she becomes a role by performing all her duties correctly. You admire her and you become a role model for the fellow nurses. Includes all personnel, professional and non-professional, manager responsible for managing all the resources designated to the unit of care. So quality of care, there is no compromise in the quality. So constant concern with quality of care that is being delivered on his or her unit. She maintains a professionalism. She should be enthusiastic. Technical skill, mastery of things most required for the first level manager. Then understanding people. It assists nurse manager to communicate, lead and motivate the subordinate. Next is conceptual skill, thinking skill, ability to see the organization as a whole, mainly required by the top level manager as they spend more time in planning. The nurse manager should be a critical thinker. And any problem she faces, she should be able to find a solution for the problem. So what are the problems and challenges is nursing management? So lack of adequate training. So now they have included management as a subject in the nursing syllabus. So because previously there was lack of adequate training, the management, they do not know what is managerial skill. Now the leaders are nurses have been trained in adequately trained in management. So problem of personnel management, inadequate number of staff, nurse staffing, shortage of trained manpowers, so poor role model. So there is a very shortage of leaders, no research scope, lack of motivation, no involvement in planning. These are the problems faced by challenges in management, nursing management.